My journey, after 31 years, man, no one's story is ever a nice clean cut one unless you're out of the belt buckle of Missouri. But I think the first time I really kind of came into connection with Jesus was um, I was freaking out on mushrooms, and I was at a beach and I prayed and I literally felt him next to me, and I got the courage to say, let's go home. And what was really profound about that, as soon as we got back to the hometown, I got out of the car because I was again freaking out, and I ran up to these two ladies. I was like, hey, I live down the street that way. You mind if I get a ride? They're like, young man, we're going to church right now. You're more than welcome to come with us. And I said, thank you, but no thank you. And then I turned my way back into the car and I said, all right, Jesus, I'll wait. I'll get back to the house safely. Got home safely. It was just another 10, 15 minutes that I had to really kind of relax. But I think I was 18 at the time. So my relationship with God kind of, I always tell people nowadays, God's relationship with you is always there. You walk away from him. His doors open always. You can come back to him no matter what you do, no matter what boundaries you've crossed, no matter how many times you've sinned, as long as you truly believe in your heart that you can walk on the straight and narrow, you put your faith in Jesus, you have a relationship with him, you can absolutely find the forgiveness in yourself. Because I think the one thing that I've learned in the Bible is, God's going to judge you on your day about everything that you've ever done to others. So how you treat others, I think Jesus says, love thy enemy. Because you could hold on to vengeance and anger and all this inside turmoil. It'll destroy your character. Your character belongs to God. And recently, I found out that goldsmiths and silversmiths grab their precious metal and they hold it in the fire, like how God puts you through tribulations and trials to burn all your impurities out. Right when you're ready, right when he can see his reflection in you, he'll pull you out. Just like a goldsmith and a locksmith, or a goldsmith and a silversmith would with their precious metals. It is, man. And I loved it. I heard that. I was like, that's forever, man. I was truly one of my, I used it on my friend Peter, and, he's was battling addiction, still currently doing his best to do so, but he's made leaps and bounds from 6 months ago. And, I think you said it on Instagram, and I was like, God, I pray as I can take as many friends and family with me to the kingdom of heaven. Amen. I said, amen. Me too. I'm on the same boat to save people, bro, because they deserve it, man. Amen. But I think my relationship with Jesus was more so when I needed him most. A couple years ago when my youngest son passed away. He drowned, and, falling into depression, and, blaming myself for moving close to the water and not being home at the hour that he needed me the most, judged myself as hard as I could. I was going through major depression. So 2021 was a terrible year for me. I think in the hospital for 5 days, on day number 3, before they told me what it was, they came in to my room at 3 a.m. and said, we've never seen anybody's blood do this kind of thing before. Said, at 3 a.m. you come and tell me? Well, whatever. But next morning, they come and tell me. So I was like, oh, all right, well, gotta live with this, right? One thing I'd asked him before I left that hospital bed was, please, God, please, if there's anything, I don't need anything else in the rest of my life. I don't need nothing else. Please don't tell me that I got my kids or, my ex at the time, sick. And nobody was sick, or at least to my knowledge. My children are not, or weren't. And at that moment, not only did I feel like I was forced by my own decisions and actions, but morally and ethically, I chose to be closer to God. My suffering brought me closer to him, which God experiences all the time. Most people lean on him when they have nothing, no one to hold. And, telling people all the time now versus a couple years ago, I was pretty ashamed. It's pretty, scared to tell people. I used to lie about it, used to tell them other things. I'm pretty sure I lied to you, to be honest. But realistically, it didn't do me any well to lie about it. It just made me feel bad inside that I'd have to keep that with me. So I talked to my buddy Peter.
No, dude, there's no need to apologize about that, man. That's a heavy thing, dude. I mean, you've been through things that I don't think most people would survive, mentally, spiritually. I mean, I remember when we were mushrooming out, and that's how I saw you have kind of that spiritual breakthrough. Not that I'm like glorifying psychedelics, because I'm definitely not, and I've stepped away a lot from that industry, and that kind of idolization of plant medicines and all that stuff. But I remember seeing you basically what seemed like come back to faith, or come to faith, whatever it was for you in
Funny you say
2021.
that, because the doctor told me, because I was diagnosed a month later. I had been living with it for about 7 months at the time. And my relationship with God, I mean, I remember Richard, he's like, you can get your own Bible with your name on it. And I did that like a week later. And I've had this thing for years now. And,
That's awesome.
I don't leave. Like, it comes with me everywhere. In the car, it comes with me. Even if I don't pick it up for days, I mean, it's with me in arm's reach. It's all I need. His word, man. I can't be full on bread alone, man. Not these days.
Dude, amen, bro. And I think, yeah, man. I just want you to know how much I respect you for what you've been through, dude. Because like I used to think I went through things in my life until I saw other people go through what they've gone through. I mean, from previous mentors and their life stories. One of my old mentors, clients that has had dozens and dozens of surgeries and has terminal illnesses and has been sick, her entire life. To people like you, dude, that inspire me because of what you've been through, the fact that you've come out like stronger, and none of those things crushed you. I mean, obviously in the moment, like there's no doubt that you're going to fall apart.
It crushed who I was. It crushed this persona that I thought I was, at least, because the man underneath was someone Jesus was trying to pull out all these years, from that bench on Oxnard Beach on mushrooms to your living room in March of 21. He was trying to get me out of whatever it was, and he said, "There's no other way, man. To humble you out. There's the bottom right there." And he said, "I will help you from there if that's what it takes." And here I am, man. I mean, I have nothing to lose these days. I mean, nobody can take my faith, man. Nobody can take what I believe. And even if I have no money, I have no house, I got my son. And
amen, bro.
as long as I can teach him the right way of living life, and just be kind, which he already is, the most empathetic, kind little man I know. I mean, God's got my back on a lot of things, so there's no worries, man. The term matata never made more sense, man.